Hey everyone, I'm Ashly Westbrook with the Westbrook Realty Group, and welcome to this week's real estate update for DFW Frisco area. My goal is to bring you valuable knowledge about the market and help you make smart real estate decisions. Let's dive into what's happening this week and how it impacts you. First of all, the mortgage rate for today is 6.5. Okay, so 6.5%. Mortgage rates are steady, but predictions look promising. Mortgage rates are holding steady at around 7.08%. But here's the exciting part. Experts predict they'll slowly decline throughout the year, potentially ending at around 6.3% to 6.5%. This means buyers and sellers could see increased affordability and more activity in the market. However, it's important to act early to avoid missing out on rising home values. Rising demand, a strong start to the year. Did you know mortgage applications just saw their biggest increase in 5 years? Let me say that again. Mortgage applications just saw their biggest increase in 5 years. That means we've had more people apply for a home loan since 2019 in 5 years alone, right? So that's huge. Now, 33% of those applications closed on a home purchase. So the other percentage of those were probably looking to refinance their home because of increased credit card limits. Lots of people had to max out their credit cards in the last few years, and it ended up being cheaper and an option for them to consolidate their debt into a credit card, go ahead and take that equity out, and then pay off their big 23 to 24% interest rates on their credit cards, right? So if you're thinking about buying or selling, this is the time to start planning. Now, let me explain. Here is a game changer. I'm kind of going off of two screens here. All right, home equity, a golden opportunity, right? Here's a game changer. 50% of homeowners have 50% or more equity in their home. Let me say that again. 50% of homeowners have 50% or more equity in their homes. This is a huge, huge opportunity for you. Let me explain. Most people that buy homes think that they're only buying a home to live in, to change their tax bracket, right? Once you own a home, you get to exempt your home from a homestead exemption. For a homestead exemption, you can also utilize your equity to make another investment. Now more than ever, I'm seeing there's a lot of talk around leaving a legacy for your family, making investments, building your equity in other ways other than your job. Here is a perfect situation. If 50% of homeowners have 50% or more equity in their homes, you can take out that equity. It acts as cash to go and fund your next project. Now, you will have a note on your home for that amount, but wow, you wouldn't even have to go to a lender to borrow the entire existence of that money, right? Because you could have more than 50% of your home. And we now know that, well, you're about to know that the record high in 2024 for a home in the DFW Frisco area was $407,500. So that's huge. Okay. So you could use that equity to buy a second or third rental property, setting up additional income streams. You could make those long overdue home improvements to boost your property's value. You could, for your college bound kid, right? For your college bound kid, why not look at purchasing a home in the town in which they're going to live in? I've got some friends of mine who have some really smart parents. Back 20 years ago, gosh, it was even longer than that, when I was in college, they bought a house in College Station, and it was brilliant, right? Like, I couldn't understand the concept back then, but now I do. It's brilliant. They purchased a home for their kid to have a home to come home to give them certainty, to give them a place of security and safety, right? Not only was a bunch of their friend group going to the same university, but they actually offered the opportunity to the peers to be able to rent the home, which in turn gave these kids a stable place to stay their entire career, college career, right? And then the parents ended up having another daughter that went to school there. So now not only one daughter was getting to take advantage of a home in a college town, now daughter number two is there. So the typical monthly rent on a college university area is $1,200, and if you're staying for 48 months, that's $57,000 in residential rental expenses that you saved. And the great thing is when you're in a college town, you're going to be able to resell that because there's another guy right behind you that wants to do the same thing for their kid. So I highly, highly recommend my college bound kids that are going out there, moms and dads, if you're thinking about sending them off to school, you guys, it's a really great opportunity for you to increase your net worth, leave a legacy, and now you got a place to stay, right? When you come to the college football games, you don't have to worry about staying at the Best Western. You're staying in one of the bedrooms, maybe not. But anyway, I thought that was brilliant. So, if you're curious about how much equity that you have, call me today and I'll help you calculate it and I'll show you how to make the most of it. So there's many, many ways to do that, right? Let's see. All right. Home sales and inventory purchases. All right. Home sales and inventory trends. Let's see. Home sales and inventory trends. December sales were up 2.2% compared to November, and the market is showing steady signs of recovery. For 2024, we saw a record high median sales price of $407,500. Okay, so that's 2024. At the end of 2024, we can now look at it and go, wow, we've never seen this before. A record high median sales price of $407,500. Now look at this. If you would have bought in 2023, the median sales price in 2023, $383,000. Okay, watch this, even better, right? So if you take this number less this number, what does that give you? That gives you $24,450. So if you've been waiting, sitting on the fence about, well, I'm going to wait till the interest rates come down. Well, I'm going to wait till, I got better thing. Look, you may have missed the boat. You may have missed the boat. I've been told by Warren Buffett in 2018, he said over and over and over and over, if I were to give any advice, I would be purchasing every single family home that I possibly could. That was his advice in 2018. Then we had 2019, it sort of slowed down. 2020 happened. We had this huge surge of people jumping off the fence in their high tax bracket states coming to Texas with tons of cash and equity. Then it almost put our DFW real estate market out of whack, right? Because our local market, who was on a fixed income, couldn't compete with all this equity and this cash that was coming into our markets, right? So don't miss the boat again. There's nothing to be ashamed of here. 2024's record high was $407,500. 2023, $383,000 for a home price, right? These days right here, they're gone. I do not ever see the prices of houses coming down to this price. And I'm brokenhearted. I'm brokenhearted because there was an opportunity that I had twice to buy a home under the 285 mark, which today is worth $407,000, right? Now, the cost of you not acting sooner cost you $24,450. Now, let me explain why that number is so important. Have you looked into talking when if you're serious about purchasing real estate, then you have made an attempt, right? Yes or yes. Have you made an attempt on quickenloans.com, on redsomething.com, Red Rocket Mortgage, I think is what it is. One of my friends works there. Zillow Home Loans. If you had made an attempt to put your name, email, phone number in to find out what your interest rate could be, you know that you are either pre-approved for an FHA loan which is a federally funded backed loan. VA, which, way to go, veterans, you get to exercise this amazing loan if that's you, and or a conventional loan. Now, your conventional lending is based on your credit score. Your FHA and VA allow you to put less money down, but there's a con to your FHA loan. Here's what it is. When you do an FHA loan, they will allow you to put down 3.5%. Okay. So what does that look like? Well, let's just go with 407,500 times 3.5%. So now they need me to put down $14,262. Okay. That's what they need from me. Now, because I didn't have the full 20%, which sometimes people can be misled. Most people think that you need 20% down to get into a home. That's not true. Now you need 20% down to avoid this thing called MIP insurance, which is mortgage insurance protection, and it runs you a monthly rate. But once you acquire 20% equity in the home price that you purchased it, this MIP goes away, right? So that's beautiful. So here's where equity comes in. This MIP going away, if you would have bought in 2023, now you're in 2024 and you needed 20% to get into your home, this $24,450 in equity could have gone towards your MIP, right? Could have gone towards your MIP, which would given you 20%. Which would have given you 20% equity in your home to get away from this MIP. So that is the beauty of buying and taking advantage of the market. You know, I get so excited about this real estate business because, you know, I've got friends who've been renting for 18 years. I've got friends who are in the real estate business and rent. I can't figure it out for the life of me. But the thing is this. There is an opportunity for you. It is never too late to start. If you start now, think about 1 year from now. You and I both know how quickly a year goes by, right? 1 year from now, if this is the median price in 2024, and we're already seeing the numbers increase. In fact, I'm going to get to this in just a second. I'll let you know my predictions and what I see happening in the market right now, because this is what I do. I eat, breathe, sleep, and see this market and the momentum happening every day. So what the deal is if you allow 1 more year to go by, I'm convinced that we will see a 6% increase in 2025, which would put us at 431,950. Now do the math, right? What's this less that? Now this number right here doubles and turns into $48,900 equity in just 24 months. Insane. The power of real estate is insane. It's exciting. I am so thrilled to represent you. If you have any questions regarding your equity, let's talk, because you do not want to be sitting in a situation where you look up in 2025 and you were so close. You filled out the application. You were like, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. And then guess what happens? Life gets in the way, right? You got to stop and get in control of your time and make sure that you are fighting for your family's legacy, that you are setting yourself up for success, because we all know that the world is changing. Yes or yes? We all know that business is changing. In fact, I just saw a report that came out on Forbes. I think it was 85,000 people lost their jobs in 2024. AI, 5 to 7 years away until it removes another sector of the marketplace, right? So do yourself a favor, start putting your business, start putting your income into assets. Allow these assets to make you money behind the scenes. That way you're having control of your finances and where you're going in the future, right? Sorry to get on my little rage right there. For 2024, we saw a record high median sales price of $407,500, which is a 6% increase from the previous year. This means waiting to buy can cost you thousands. Remember, we went over that? Can cost you thousands in equity, right? Lost equity. Now, for my sellers, pricing correctly is even more important than ever. Nearly 33% of homes already listed this year have had to reduce their prices. Do not make that mistake. Start with the right price. Let's work together to position your home for success. Now, what this means for buyers and sellers. If you are a buyer, now is the time to act before prices rise further. Let me explain. What I'm already seeing in the marketplace. Okay, so I've been in the real estate market for this year, it'll be 18 years. That's so exciting. I can't believe it. But so I've been in the real estate market for a long time, and there's a lot of momentum that's happening, right? So when there's an election year, there's always uncertainty in the market. This was my 5th presidential election year. Nothing changed. It was uncertainty. There was weeks and weeks of crickets, like nothing was out there. Nobody was feeling anything. No one was really, there just wasn't a lot of noise, right? A lot of things called days on market with our real estate inventory. I had a house that sat for almost 60 days. We had to reposition the market. Nothing was wrong with the house. Nothing was wrong with the way that we priced it. We weren't going to give it away. My seller waited because they trusted me. They trusted me. They didn't have to get to Washington in 2 weeks. They didn't have to get to, Arizona if they were moving for a job. They were in the situation where they could wait. And I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit it out. We're going to take our house off the market. We're going to reposition you in the early spring. Here's why. Because the spring market is moving swiftly and more quickly than it did this time last year. Now, with the election behind us, we have this beautiful thing in the market called certainty. People are ready to move. People are ready to move. I mean, I just told you nearly 33% of homes. I just told you that mortgage applications were up 33%. 33%. That tells me that buyers are ready to buy. So if you've got people that are out there shopping and you've got the property priced right, and in this market, you even come down a little bit, there is an opportunity for you sellers to have something called a multiple offer situation. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get $20,000, $30,000 over asking, but there is a chance that you get title policy picked up, that you actually get that seller contribution that they're wanting to buy down their rate in the offer. Well, let's go up and give you that price in the sales price, and then we'll gladly give you the seller contribution. So there's lots of tips and tricks to get things moving, to get both buyer and seller happy. But in this market, we're going back to something called a normal market. We were in a seller's market quite heavily there for a few 2+ years, right? Now we're going back to 4.3 months of inventory on the market, which yields you about 90 days before you actually sell your home, unless you price it correctly. So that's my spiel for sellers. Now, if you're a buyer, now is the time to act before the prices rise further. So the reason that I'm telling you this is because if you are a buyer that's out there, and I've got people in my office right now, they're making offers, and then the buyer is backing out. And it's very frustrating because you just want to strangle their necks and say, hey, brah, listen, you don't really have a lot of money to put down here. This isn't your forever home. This is simply a way for you to capture equity, to capture land ownership, to capture an asset right now. This isn't your forever home. Average person lives in their home 5 to 7 years. Why? Because life changes. There's weddings, there's diapers, there's divorce, there's families shrinking and expanding. I mean, there's all kinds of things that encourage people to move, right? Job changes, you name it. So right now is not the time to be thinking about your forever home. Let's just get you in the home that is most affordable to you, that you can love and enjoy and be in, and meets your monthly payment requirements, so that you can take advantage of what home ownership does for you and your family. All right. So If you're a seller, the market is stabilizing. But again, proper pricing and marketing are key to selling your home quickly and for top dollar. I'm here to guide you through every step of the process if you'll let me. Here's the deal. Thank you for joining me this week at DFW Frisco's Real Estate Update. If you're ready to learn how much equity you have, or if you have any questions about buying or selling in 2025, reach out to me directly. Drop 2025 below in the comments. I'm all over the internet, Westbrook Realty Group and Ashly Westbrook. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know who could benefit with this information. See you next week.